Today on the Sansu Show, take a look. It's for you. It's Sansu.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Sansu Show. Oh my God, our guest for today is a very exciting man. He's an attorney at law, entertainment attorney, artist management, educator, writer, lecturer, and I think that's it. Please help us welcome Mr. Michael Aczon.
Thank you, Sansu.
How you doing, Mike?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Oh, fine. With all this pandemic thing, we're adjusting actually. All this, we can't do any live shows right now, but it's more virtual. But
Yeah.
what you been doing? How you been doing?
I've been doing okay. When this pandemic started, I have a lot of clients who are live performers like yourself. So starting the beginning of the year, I mean, I know a lot of businesses have been taking a hit and it's been really rough for them, but it's been very busy for me because we've had to redo a bunch of contracts for people who are on tour, endorsements, the baseball season. It's been a very, very busy 2020 for me.
Yes, in the music business also, it really hurt hard, big time. And so,
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah, let's go back and let's look back actually, because you were a guest of the Sansu Show 20 years ago. I'm just kidding. But no, that was only I don't know, whenever. But let's refresh our people's memory. Where you from? You were born. Can you tell us a little bit about it again?
Yeah, I was born in Hawaii. My father was in the Navy. We bounced around, and I ended up in San Francisco, where I was born and raised. Went to school there, and growing up in the Bay Area, I soaked it all in and decided to get into the entertainment business at a pretty young age, and just pursued it ever since. I went right into college. Right after that, I went into law school and followed that path. And fortunate for me, it's worked out, and I've been doing it since the early 80s.
Wow. I mean, what got you into the music business? Why music? Is it your family members are in the music business?
Yeah, I do have. We had a musical family. It's not like we were trying to be a musical act as a family or anything like that. But I advise emerging artists and people who want to get into the entertainment business, or any business at all. I tell them, find something that will keep you around the people that you like to be around. And that's what I found. I loved being around creative people when I was in high school. And I started looking at that point at career paths that might somehow keep me around creative people as long as possible. And that's what it's been. And that's why I wear so many hats. I think part of it is not going down a single route, but having a variety of things that I do. And, so whenever I hear people read, my resume like you just did, I have to laugh at myself because I just think, what was this guy can't decide on what he's trying to do with his life? But all of those things keep me around people who are creative, being an entertainment lawyer, managing a handful of people, teaching people about the entertainment business, and writing about the entertainment business. Somehow I've been blessed with it somehow ending up being a career that I love. And those corny things that people say about if you're doing a job that you like, it never seems like work, and it still doesn't seem like work.
It's true. Just like what I'm doing right now, talking to interesting people like you. And so, even the karaoke singers, are they also your students or how do you call this, customers?
Oh yeah, well, karaoke singers, do they end up being clients? I don't know. but some version of being a singer, a live performer. Often people, they start out being a karaoke singer, and they never even thought that they would end up being
Being
a
professional.
songwriter or yeah, exactly, a professional in some way.
Yeah. So let me read your bio right here. There are some changes of the young artists. So how can you give what kind of advice basically can you give the new artist?
Oh yeah, emerging arts, and some of it doesn't change, um, except that I think in today's music industry or entertainment industry, so much emphasis is put on the opportunity. When you have television shows where people come from nowhere and all of a sudden become famous right away, or same thing with the internet and with social, um, you know,
Media.
yeah, social media. Thanks for that. But that people kind of seem to come out of nowhere and all of a sudden they're a star. But if they really haven't focused on their artistry instead of the opportunity, well, they're going to come and go in no time, right?
Yeah.
Then they're a star, and all of a sudden they're a star as somebody's posting something on Instagram about them, and then all of a sudden, if they're no longer interesting, then their day's over. They were a star
Yes.
for all of 2 weeks, and there's nothing to back it up. So what I tell emerging artists now is to focus on their artistry. If you focus on the artistry instead of being famous, and or on the opportunity, because the opportunities are going to come and go.
Yeah. This would be called a one-hit wonder. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
absolutely. And it's so prevalent today, much more than
Yes.
before, because in the past, at least there was a record label or a TV show or something like that that could make you the one-hit wonder. Now you can do
Yes.
it yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes somebody will do it themselves, all of a sudden have a huge following, and all these people are looking at them for just a moment, and then it's over.
Yes.
And
It's
if they
true.
don't, if they're not going to be a singer for life, or a songwriter for life, or a producer for life, or when I say life, right, this isn't what they're going to do. That they're very passionate about and they're going to keep pursuing. Then once the opportunity is gone, then they're going to judge themselves by the opportunity instead of their talent.
It's true. So, what are the subjects that you're teaching right now that excites you and your students?
Gosh, over time, I've taught about music publishing, which is one of the big things that people don't really know about. Music publishing is just songwriting. There's so much
Yeah.
money in people who are making a fantastic living being songwriters, and nobody even knows who they are, right? Because all they do is they stand behind the star and the artist, and they write songs. So I've done everything from teaching that to music business history, artist management. Currently, I teach 2 classes at a junior college here in the Bay Area, and I teach an introduction to the music business, where I give an overview of how the music business works and all the different parts of it, marketing, what writing songs is all about, what making records is about, the technical aspects of it. There are a ton of jobs for every artist that you see out there. There are 30 jobs backing that artist up. And that's exciting. And then the second course that I teach is one on artist development, where we take artists and we see where they are. And they don't even just have to be an artist. They can be somebody who wants to be in the business side, or wants to have an independent label. And what we do is we teach a course on how to develop that, how to really look at their core values and what they're trying to build out of a business and help them make it.
Are your classes virtual now, or are you actually teaching them in person?
Oh, they sure are virtual right now, just like with you and I. And and the beautiful part of it
Can I touch you?
is that right. But I had to adjust to it.
Yes.
Since you're so gifted that you know how to make the
Thank you.
connection virtually, and it took me a little while before I could do that. It was several weeks of trial and error of
Yeah.
maintaining the connection, and but
Yeah.
it feels good now. I'm
It feels
while
good.
I don't prefer it, I know how to do it now.
Yeah. Because I always practice by talking to the wall. and that's
Yeah.
why.
Is that what I did? Okay, I'll try it.
So I
Okay.
just respond to myself. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm doing okay.
I
Yeah, but
appreciate the tip.
so how can they get hold of you? How can they be one of your students? Do they have to go online? Can you give us a website that you can?
Oh, sure. Diablo
they
Valley
can-
College. If you go to dvc.edu, we have the music and record. It's called Music Industry Studies. And
Yes.
if you find that you can find a class through there, sure.
Oh, do you travel and teach or just work
Sometimes I
outdoors?
do. I teach business workshops. Sometimes there's an annual workshop that I do down in Los Angeles. It's an artist intensive. It's wonderful. It's a small college down in Southern California, and it's almost like going to camp for me. I get to hide away for 10 days. Very
Wow.
intense. People come from all over the world, and it's full immersion music industry, and a number of professionals are there with me, and we all just try to make it as real as possible and teach people as much as we can in 10 days.
There are some smart artists in the music industry, like Mariah Carey and Alicia Keys. Are those what very good example that really the young generation or the young artists can look into?
Sure. Yeah, I think that a great thing for any artist or anybody in any business to do is to look for someone whose career you want to model yours after, and then study it, like really study
Yes.
it. In those two examples, they were on major labels and they had huge executives behind them. Clearly, that's not going to happen for every artist,
Yeah.
but what are some of the aspects that you could take from it? You know, Alicia Keys and Mariah Carey both write their own music.
Yes.
So even if a person is an independent artist that doesn't have a machine behind them, they could at least look at those gifts and those talents and go, okay, then maybe that's what's going to get me my opportunity. If I can perform, if I could record, and I could write, then I could at least look for those opportunities.
You're right. And let's talk about your writing projects. Guitar player, electronic musician, independent working musician. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, that's another one of those things that I've always wanted to do ever since I was a child. I mean, when I was in the first grade, I used to just, I used to write books and give them
Oh.
to just, they're silly books, but they were, so that was one of those things that I try to pass on to any entrepreneur. Like find something that you like to do. So I've always wanted to, always loved writing. And when the opportunity came, and the first one was Electronic Musician Magazine, an opportunity came up, and I wrote for them, and then the editor of Electronic Musician moved over to Guitar Player, asked me if I wanted to write for them. And sure, I'll write for you. And then I compiled enough stuff, and I had enough of a background to write a book. So I pitched the book, and I think this is another thing that I try to tell emerging artists. I pitched the book initially, and it was 10 years, exactly 10 years before it finally got published.
Wow.
But now it's behind me, right? Okay, now I know how to write a book. I think eventually when I retire, which is going to be years from now, I'm not even thinking about retiring, but when I retire, I'd love to just sit in the cabin somewhere and write fiction. Why not?
Oh, Michael, excuse me. You remember retiring. You're only,
But like I said, it'll be a while from now.
we need
And watch,
you.
and
You'll be
I
retired.
guarantee you, Sansu, when I start writing that fiction, you're going to pick up one of those books and go, wait a minute, that's me.
And let me see what kind of character I'm going to be.
Yeah. But I think that's the beauty of following a path that you like,
Yes.
especially a creative path. Because,
Yeah.
what are we doing anyway? We're meeting people, doing stuff we like to do. And for a writer, you're gathering characters. You're just gathering characters along the way.
And just remember, you're an inspiration to a lot of young artists out there. And we don't want to lose you. We want you to be here for another 100 years.
I'll see what I can do.
Well, is there any parting words that you can give to our young generations out there or upcoming
Wow.
artists?
But find something you like. Find something that you're going to wake up and do, whether or not you get paid for it, and
Yes.
and then the money is going to come to you.
You're right.
You'll figure out a way. The money will come to you.
Yeah. So money is not everything. You know, it's an experience is what counts, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
And when I heard that in my 20s, I went, oh no, But now, with more miles behind me than in front of me, I now understand what everybody. I understand what my parents were saying when they came here from the Philippines. I really do.
Yes.
That it's the people that you meet and the experiences that you have. That's what that's what richness is.
Yes. Have you been to the Philippines, by the way, before we parting? Have you ever been to the Philippines?
I have not yet. And
Good
it's a
Lord.
very interesting thing because when my parents left the Philippines, and I think this was a historical time. When my parents left the Philippines, a big thing that was emphasized was that you left the Philippines to become an American.
Oh,
And so we were really raised as Americans.
as an American.
And my parents even made us promise to them that we weren't going to go back to the Philippines as long as they were alive.
Oh, okay. So
but-
your parents are Ilocanos, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So are they Filipinos? Just kidding. Because every time I ask a Ilocano, they always say, "No, I'm not Filipino. I'm Ilocano." I only eat pinakbit.
That's right.
I don't eat tuyo. I'm sorry, the dried fish and all that. But only pinakbit. I'm Ilocano. Well, thank you so much, Michael.
Thank
My
you
God.
so much for having me.
Oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. I wish I could give you a hug. But,
Same here.
But next
Alrighty.
year we're gonna give that hug.
Absolutely.
God bless you. Take care, and hope
Bless
to see
you
you
as well.
again.
Alrighty. Very soon.
Okay. Well,
care.
thank you, our audience, for watching us today. So again, please be safe out there. Wear your mask, 6 feet distancing. Okay, so love, peace, and joy. God bless you all. See you soon.